Sometimes I feel that one's harshest critic is this person right here. We think so many things about ourselves, what we have to do, what we have to present ourselves to the world. We have these ideas about what people think and how they should react and how we should react to them. And we beat ourselves up over so little. Things that don't matter at all. Yesterday, I watched a video on the Indian, the Hindu texts and how they describe creation. And I'll be happy to share in the group because you'll get an idea of how small we are. It actually talks about the number of years of creation for a single creation to take place and how many different creations have happened in the past and how we are in the 51st year of the 100-day sleep cycle, 100-day sleep cycle of Brahma. So creation takes place when Brahma awakens, and on the 100th day it goes. So I mean this is mythology that's added to it. But what I'm trying to tell you is that time is so vast. We've been born and lived so many different times, and yet we worry that we said something wrong to someone on an impulse. How does it matter? How does it matter? How does anything matter? You know, nothing matters at all. What you do or what you don't do. Nothing matters. Because we create stories around everything. Everything is one big story. Everything is something that's happening to me, and whatever's happening to me is bigger than anything that's happening to anybody else. When you make a mistake, the worst thing that we do is beating ourselves up. How could I do this? How could I do this? I should have known better. You know, I'm supposed to be this sort of a person. I'm supposed to have everything organized. Everything is set for this. How could I make this mistake? And you know what? The first thing that we need to understand is that we're human. And to make mistakes is something all humans do. Animals do it too. And it's not a question of life or death. Sometimes it is. If you're, sitting outside and there are snipers outside and you peep out to see what the weather's like, that's a mistake that can cost you. Mm-hmm. There are mistakes and there are mistakes. And what's the worst that can happen? That you die. Gone out, snipers outside, you die. It's over, right? That's the worst. And what's the best that can happen? That nothing at all will happen. So somewhere between sniper not noticing you and the sniper getting you, there are a bunch of possibilities that could happen. And really, sometimes when things take place that are very dangerous to our lives, that we make mistakes that are dangerous to our lives, there is something within us that kicks in that allows us to escape from a fearful, a difficult, a tough situation. But what we do is we create that scenario of being in a very difficult, tough, miserable situation, although it could be something as simple as what I did. I forgot an appointment. I forgot an appointment. And here I am thinking, it's all I'm beating myself. How could I do this? What happened? I forgot an appointment. You think the doctor cares? No. You think that if I had gone to the doctor, it would be life-changing and I'll live for 100 years more? No. You think that she'd spend more than 5 minutes with me? Probably not. What am I so worried about? Sometimes when things happen, they happen for a reason. And we forget that. We forget that there's a bigger picture here. We take these little things and we feel, you're not feeling sad, you're not feeling anxious about, climate change and the world heating up too much or a planet hitting us or the end of the world. No, nobody's worried about that. We're more worried about whether our nail polish got chipped, if the color is matching, if the dress we're wearing is appropriate, right? That's what we're worried about. How could you come wearing a shirt that doesn't match with your pants, right? How many times have I fought with my husband because he wore check shirt and striped pants? We've done that. We worry about things, we make mistakes, or we hold ourselves accountable for mistakes when a mistake is just a mistake, right? It's not about blaming. And the worst thing is, like, other people blaming you, it's fine. You'll probably stand up and fight. Like, how dare you blame me? It's not my fault, right? But you blaming yourself, who's going to stand up on your behalf? Who's going to protect you? Why won't we be more kind to ourselves? Why can't we be more loving, more understanding of all the shortcomings that we have? So many things we blame ourselves for eating that extra cupcake, right? I shouldn't have eaten that. My sugars have all gone up this time because I ate one cupcake. We blame ourselves for all the little things that have gone wrong, but don't give ourselves enough credit for the rest of it that has gone right. Mm-hmm. We don't love ourselves enough. We're not kind, and we don't allow ourselves to just be. Now, on Monday, I went to see a friend who had lost her spouse, and that's probably a really, really hard one of the most difficult things to get over. And she's very raw and very vulnerable. And beating herself up, saying that, I don't deserve this, it should not have happened. I don't want to see God anymore. I don't trust. Why would he do this to me? Why would he take him away from me? And so then I said, how many years were you all together? And she was like, 52 years. Mm-hmm. I said, why don't you look at that? Why don't you look at the time you had together? Why do you look at the time that you won't have? How many more years were you expecting? Were you expecting him to live for another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? She wants to be sad. She doesn't think she deserves to be alive and to be happy. She deserves to be sad and she deserves to be miserable. So she's looking for every excuse to make herself miserable. Sometimes things happen. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault that things happen. Things happen. And this blame game that we play, I get tired of seeing this out in social media and politics. Everybody. And in spite of the fact that I don't look at the news, and I don't know which day of the week it is, right? I get this, everybody's trying to find someone to blame for their problems. It's the new immigrants that have come here. It's the new people that have come here. It's them. It's this group. It's that group. All the time, this blame game. Blame someone for the state of your mind. What is the state of your mind now? How soon can we bounce back to the center and just be kind to ourselves? Because if you are not kind to yourself, you can't expect it from someone else. The only person that needs to be kind is you to yourself. Stop judging yourself. Stop telling yourself, I'll never make it. This always happens to me. I never get this. See, there are two words. There are two words that we use all the time. Always and never. If we eliminate those two words, everything is fine. This always happens to me to this happens to me. Yes, it happens to me. And it's fine. It's okay. And this never happens to me is also this happens to me. If you remove the word never. This happens. Things happen all the time. Something's happening in your life. Something's happening in your life. Something's happening in your life. Things are happening all the time. And the joy is in treating the good and the bad as the same, with the same amount of energy. Nothing is either good or bad. It just is. Now I missed an appointment. Is that the end of the world? No, maybe I'll get another one. Maybe I'll be accommodated. Maybe I didn't really need to see this specialist for maybe I saved $100. Mm-hmm. You know, so many ways of looking at it. You know, yes, we beat ourselves up, and the old me would have beaten myself up for 2 days or for 3 days. Mm-hmm. But the new me has bounced back a little bit faster. That's not to say that it's not going to keep coming up in my, how could you do it? How could you do it? How could you do it? Hey, I did it. I did it. It's over. It's over. Now what? Now what do we do?
You try to get another appointment.
You try and get another appointment. You try to see how best to work it. So these are small things. We make other types of mistakes too, right? So there are some mistakes we can rectify. There's some mistakes that have repercussions. Mm-hmm. But blaming yourself or blaming anybody else doesn't solve the problem. Right? We're always trying to blame somebody else for it. Does it solve the problem? No. Okay, you know what's responsible? The ultimate reason for everything is consciousness itself, which throws these things at us all the time. Can you look at good events and at bad events with the same equanimity of mind, just as events happening and not happening to you? They won't always happen, and it's not like it never happens. We just don't recall all the good things when things are not going according to expectation. You were expected to get a certain result, it didn't come, and now things never happen for you. I never get a job. I never make money. I'll never see a boyfriend. You know, how with the things we say to ourselves. I'll never have this, I'll never have that. We say things to ourselves, we are not considerate of our current state of mind. Right now, it's important in this moment to feel that everything is good. Look around you. There is so much chaos. There is so much anarchy. People are so unhappy, so angry. They want to take what's there in your home. They want what you have. They're saying all kinds of things to you. It's worse than it's ever been before. if you don't keep your bubble of peace and make your world completely peaceful, there is no hope. Because peace doesn't come from out in, it comes from in and flows out of you. If you feel everything is okay with me, this moment is perfect as it is, everything happens to me for a reason, all these things that our grandma told us, that I continue to say, if you say it to yourself all the time, then that's the energy that flows inside you. That's the energy that flows around you, and it extends and it extends and it extends. And everything around you in your world confirms this. The minute you start saying things like, oh my God, my things, my stuff, I need to take care of it. I have I'm important. It's all about me. It's my life, right? And things start getting taken away.
Right?
Things start getting taken away. When your mind is one of feeling anxious and nervous and worried and fearful, and that's how can you expect that happiness is going to come your way? How can you? Because happiness doesn't come from anything. It just is. It is your nature. And that's what we try to get back to. We keep trying to get back to that state of completeness where everything at this moment feels like I don't need one more thing. I'm not going to view the rest of my life or the rest of the world filled with lack, filled with that poverty mindset, filled with that victim mindset. How could I do this? Why didn't I do this? Why don't I have this? How can I hold on to this? Nothing is in your grasp. Just that feeling that right now, in this moment, life is perfect as it is. This is the feeling that you need to have all the time. And if you have this, it doesn't matter what's happening outside your home. It doesn't matter what's happening. It will extend through you into your community, through your children, through your family. There's a layer of protection that comes. There's a kind of a web that gets created. And it extends and it extends. And you feel like you're in the arms of Jesus, right? Or in the arms of God. That's how it feels. That's how it feels, because you're completely back in yourself. In yourself. And it's in yourself that the most divine of divinity exists. And that's what we need to get back to ourselves. That's why we need to love ourselves. That's why we need to reside in that love. Reside in that stillness, that calmness, that feeling of peace, that feeling of... It's the same thing. It's peace, it's joy, it's happiness. It's the same thing. We call it different words. That's what it is. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for it, but you're looking for it outside. Just because you did not make a mistake, is everything perfect? No. There are mistakes and there are events and there are things that happen. This is stuff that's happening all the time. But as long as you realize that it's happening outside of you, that you are the peace, you are the joy, you are the happiness. Om Namah Shivaya.